writers and they worked hard. I got read like them, but that's all. And now I have the privilege to show two of the films and of course to speak a little bit about this project. I started in 2004. I am a sculptor in my profession, but I thought to go outside, to work with the people outside, with the landscape, with the color, with the architecture, so it's a closed system behind. And I started in Vienna with the first one, then I moved always from Vienna to a city outside. I moved to Trieste, to Torino, to Munich, to Leipzig, and I always met a poet over there. I organized everything, and I asked him, you have to show me some special places. And we have the first problems because they want to show me very special places, near the opera or the dome and like this, big churches and so on. And I'm much more interested in private places, very hidden one, And I had it today when I moved here in Sofia again. Sofia is perfect for me as a sofa man. So I saw a lot of nice places again, maybe a special color or from the dimension, very ideal, So I was impressed again, and I told you I could start again with the project with the sofa because in the meantime I look always with the eyes of the sofa. So it's like I move in the city and I see a lot of nice places in historical places, but not so many historical, much more in the dimension of the composition. So we always make some special, the painter do it as well as the architecture and the sculpture. After this project, the first one, I made this book with Josef Haslinger, Pepe Dorsko, Christian Sinico, a lot of them. After 9 of these cities, I finished with the book, and then I met one of the Romanian Culture Institute chief, the vice director, Gabriel Kohn, and he asked me, he was invited by a project in the museum board in Vienna, and he asked me, it's possible to go to Romania for such a project. And I told him, listen, you organize writers, no musicians at this time, writers, and then we can organize this. Of course, to do this, and that's the point behind, it's not so cheap to go there because I want to pay for the text written by the poets, because it's very fair, because it's an honor for me to have a text in my book. So, but we organized everything, and I started to Temișoara, I went to Cluj, Târgu Mureș, Craiova, also to Cetate to meet Richard Inescu there, and in Craiova, Boscanian and Plovdiv, also different cities, so 9, and we finished this book with a book. It's not with me because I was coming with a plane. After this one, I thought I can go around the Black Sea, but it wasn't possible because I couldn't go from Georgia to Russia, so I cancelled, and I thought I go to Turkey now. And then I start from Constanza, and I visit Burgas and Varna, so the first 2 cities in Bulgaria, and then I made around in Turkey, staying 3 times in Istanbul, and it was fascinating too, wherever I went with the sofa, I met so interesting people. And what is changing since that time is that I invite also musicians to this project. So the writers sit on the sofa and we have some discussion about culture, about politics and so on. But it could be also in a way that they have their own creativity. And the musicians are invited to, just for 5 minutes or 10, to improvise in the sofa on this special place. So it's not, I remember this one in Turkey, he wants to play jazz piece, I said, no, stop, I prefer some other music. I finished this one, and then I come back to Bulgaria to visit Plovdiv, Rusi, and Sofia for 2 times, and it was a very special time. I just had with Jordan this short speech outside, and it seems that time is stopping, it seems it was yesterday. So I feel really good and happy here and fine to stay here in Sofia. And we finished this project with these really nice musicians too, and you will see then afterwards another film, a bigger one. It's a music medley with the musicians. They participated on this project. And the Bulgarian book is this one, I try to find a special rhythm in the book, you know, for the graphic, that you should be like it should mean like you move in the book, like I moved with the sofa, you know, you're on tour with me. So therefore there are cutting pieces and cutting pictures, and it's open, and they're just like this in Lovdiv, you know. I remember because the writer told me, you know, if you show this in your book, I will not be a part of your book. You know, I said, listen, it's my book, but it's sort of many fantastic, you know, photos from the landscape. So it's a real privilege that I could realize this project. And years after, I had this idea to move along the Danube. Poland, of course, Poland made this project too, and the bigger one was, of course, to move on the Danube. I built a special platform, and the people had to sit, musicians and the writers had to sit on the platform, on the sofa, so they have to be part of the Danube. So if you sit there, I remember the philosopher Lukács Schmidt is 75 years, but he wants to sit there too. He was like this, you know, and he was near the Danube, so it makes something with you, and if you write afterwards a text, it's another one, because you sit on the sofa. So it's a very sensible moment. And I moved from Donaueschingen to the Black Sea, and it was very intensive, and invited 45 people, and we made some other films, bigger one, but we couldn't show it today, it's too long. I want to speak also very short. And we made this one, and this maybe a little bit a masterpiece in a way, because it was so intensive, and the program along the Danube, you know, to stop there, so many different people, different stories, and I learned a lot. You know, maybe it's also one of the most important things that I learned a lot. And the last one I did here nearby was in Moldavia. You know, I visited just 3 cities. It's a smaller one, but it's cheaper, of course. And I was surprised that these young poets and these writers and poets were so intelligent and so open for this project. So it's a really big honor. And therefore, I always want to do some project and performance and to remember our project last year in Bucharest. I invited even, I wrote on a blog all these participants, 45, and he played on the flute, and I wrote it on the blog, and then I put it on my head, because to show that without you, without the writers, without the musicians, you know, it couldn't happen, because it's necessary to have you and to work with you. So we are the whole one, and this is a fantastic privilege. And to work further on in this way as a sculpture made much more sense than to show some pictures on the wall. We go, thank you, it's nice, and we go out. So it's a very intensive project. And I wrote on the members of this project. 2 of them are here, and I want to invite the writers from this festival now today to write their name here with 2 different on this sofa, because it could be maybe as a kind of symbol, work together again, and I will give it then to Theodora as a present. That's the
And everybody will write his name on the sofa one by one, and will present himself by one poem. And before that, Mirko Novkov will tell us something about the sofa journey. We will change the language a little bit in Bulgarian. English is international language, and I think that everybody is aware.
I have to like this, because I'm so happy to meet him like that.
Аз съм автора на навеждащия текст към Софийския дебат.
is the author of the introduction